Hi, this is Arthur, and this is a summary and explanation of the story of the Trailblaze Continuance, Sweet Dreams, and the Holy Grail, released in the game Honkai Star Rail version 3.4. This story seems to take place sometime after the Trailblaze missions from version 2.0 to 2.7. The Trailblazer returns to Penacony and bumps into Robin. Robin is standing in front of the Holy Grail, though Screwlum has neutralized its wish-granting properties. They reminisce about their participation in the Holy Grail War, and we change perspectives and move back in time to this event's commencement. The Trailblazer is being interviewed by a reporter and has a tattoo on her hand called the Command Spell, signifying her participation in the Holy Grail War. Sampo and Hook make a brief appearance before the reporter cuts to a commercial. We see a video of Old Odie explaining the Holy Grail War. The Holy Grail War is a competition where the winner wins the right to make a wish from the Holy Grail, which is a wish-granting chalice. Participants summon heroic spirits of legendary figures from Penacony's history and bring them back to life for the duration of the competition. Participants are known as Masters, while the heroic spirits are Servants. Masters use the command spells on their hands to control servants who will battle each other until only one participant remains and becomes the winner. Penacony's dreamscape does not allow anyone to die, so everyone will be safe even in defeat. We change perspectives to Old Odie talking to Scott, who is participating. Side note, Scott is someone who's shown up many times in past missions and usually antagonizes the Trailblazer. Old Odie says he wants the Holy Grail War to be a spectacle that rivals the Charmony Festival and intends on making money off the event. Mr. Rekka pops by, but asks to be called Grady, though Old Odie also refers to him as Assassin. Side note, though servants generally have real names, the Holy Grail also assigns them code names like Assassin. Grady is Scott's servant and is inhabiting Mr. Rekka's body with Mr. Rekka's consent. Grady says his noble phantasm is watching the other participants and shows video feeds of all of them to Scott. Side note, each servant generally has a weapon and/or a special ability, which are referred to as noble phantasms. Scott watches the feeds and learns Aventurine, Boothill, Robin, and Pom Pom will also join the Holy Grail War. The Holy Grail War progresses to its next phase, which is where participants summon their servants. The Trailblazer tries to summon her servant, but nothing happens. Scott comes by with some IPC thugs to taunt the Trailblazer and they get into a fight. A servant named Lancer interrupts their fight and attacks the Trailblazer. Another servant named Saber interrupts and defends the Trailblazer. Lancer recognizes Saber and leaves. Scott and his IPC thugs manage to escape earlier. Saber is the Trailblazer's servant, though something seems to have gone wrong as she is not from Penacony's past. Saber says her true name is Altria Pendragon, once the King of Knights in Camelot. They chat a bit about Penacony before the Trailblazer takes Saber to lunch. We change perspectives to Aventurine and Boothill, who are chatting with their servants Lancer and Archer. Lancer is Boothill's servant and Archer is Aventurine's servant. Neither Lancer nor Archer are from Penacony's past. We change perspectives to Robin, who just summoned her servant Castor. Castor tries to say her real name, but it is trademarked so she can't even say it in the dreamscape. Robin doesn't like calling her Castor, so Castor asks to be called Miss Note. We change perspectives to the Trailblazer and Saber eating lunch when they bump into Robin and Miss Note. They eat and chat and decide to form an alliance as Old Odie and his Holy Grail War seem suspicious. Just then they get a message from Boothill to meet. The message sounds suspicious and Saber suspects Boothill was taken out. The group decides to meet up with Boothill anyway. We change perspectives to Boothill, Aventurine, and Archer, who believe they've gotten a message from the Trailblazer to meet. Just then, Scott and Grady ambush them, and it seems Scott sent the messages to Boothill and the Trailblazer. Grady then uses his noble phantasm to trap Boothill's group in a silent movie. The Trailblazer and friends soon arrive, and they also get trapped and separated. As the Trailblazer and friends try to regroup and escape Grady's silent movie, they learn a few things. They learn Grady is a movie director from Penacony's past who created Penacony's Dream Bubble movie technology and is known for making a bunch of silent horror movies. Miss Note was a famous actress from Penacony's past who lost ownership of her name and creative works after numerous scandals. Both Grady and Miss Note were present and involved with Penacony's War for Independence and its founding. The Trailblazer and friends eventually regroup and Scott even cooperates with them after Grady turns on him. Unfortunately, Miss Note disagrees with Robin's disinterest in making a wish and leaves the group. They eventually defeat Grady and escape the silent movie, only for Grady to tell them old Odie is waiting for them at the Grand Theater. They leave for the Grand Theater, but not before Boothill gives Scott a beatdown. We change perspectives to Lancer and old Odie at the Grand Theater. The two chat a bit before Miss Note arrives, and it seems she's been cooperating with old Odie all along. Old Odie gives Miss Note power from the Holy Grail and tells her to defeat the Trailblazer and her friends. The Trailblazer and friends soon arrive. Ms. Note says she did something to Lancer and uses her power to send them into a dream, but not before the Trailblazer manages to grab Saber. The Trailblazer and Saber then find themselves inside a dream of one of Saber's memories. The memory is of Saber's hometown in Britain before she drew the sword in the stone and became king. They walk around and talk about Saber's past, which mostly follows the stories of King Arthur. Side note, Saber is really just a gender-bent version of King Arthur. Saber likes being here and her will falters. Just then, Miss Note sends the Trailblazer into another dream where the Trailblazer never joined the Astral Express and just stayed on the Herta space station. The Trailblazer wanders through this dream and starts forgetting the real world. We suddenly see a conversation between Miss Note and Robin where Miss Note talks about how a movie studio stripped her of her stage name and her career. Miss Note now wants to use the Holy Grail wish to destroy every trace of her past as an actress. A little later, the Trailblazer and Saber somehow work together and break free of Miss Note's dream. The Trailblazer and Saber then defeat Miss Note and Robin has a chat with her. Robin uses her command spell to return Miss Note's true name, which is Asna. Asna is actually the founder of the Iris family, one of the 5 major lineages that control Penacony. Robin also frees Asna from her control under her command spell. Back with the Trailblazer and Saber, they find the rest of their friends who were also freed from Asna's dreams. The group confronts old Odie, who turns into a bug and fights them. Turns out, old Odie used the Holy Grail to summon himself as a servant, which is the giant bug they're now fighting. The real old Odie is safely hiding somewhere else. They fight and defeat the old Odie bug, shatter the Holy Grail, and bring an end to the Holy Grail War. Without the Holy Grail, the servants will soon vanish, so they say their goodbyes. We change perspectives to a chat between old Odie, Grady, and Asna. Grady seems to vanish and Mr. Rekka regains control of his body. Asna also vanishes, but not before old Odie says he'll sign a declaration renouncing the trademark on her name and all rights to her creative works. Back on the Astral Express, we see Pom Pom catching up with the servant he summoned named Misha. Misha is the watchmaker, also known as one of the founders of Penacony. Misha was also a nameless and traveled with Pom Pom on the Astral Express before settling on Penacony. As Misha begins to vanish, the two say their goodbyes. We change perspectives and return to Robin and the Trailblazer reminiscing about the Holy Grail War, which is where the mission began. They mentioned Mr. Rekka made a movie about their participation in the Holy Grail War and it was a commercial success. Robin then looks inside the Holy Grail and finds a message from Sampo. It seems Sampo was the one who originally sold old Odie the Holy Grail. Sampo even made a wish on it and wished for everyone in the world to be happy, joyful, free, and to have their every desire fulfilled. And that is the end of this mission in this video. If you liked what you've seen here, please like, comment, and subscribe.